It was an act of war, with no specific military target, perpetrated against civilians. At 8:30 on the morning of March the 31st, 1937, 5 bombers and 9 fighter aircraft began the attack on Durango from Gerediaga Street. With their backs to the sun, the pilots used the steeple on the Basilica of Santa Maria de Uribarri as their reference point. The first bombs fell in front of the Veracruz Chapel, now home to the Gurutze Santu Museum. Buildings on both sides of the street were damaged by shrapnel, and the Gerediaga cross itself was knocked over. In 2013, a space for memory was created in front of the Church of San Jose, one of 3 churches bombed that day, along with the Santa Susana convent and the Basilica of Santa Maria de Uribarri. This space is designed to be an area for memory and reflection. The plaques on the ground refer to local places that played a significant part in the Civil War, battle sites, and scenes of execution. The Jesuit priest was celebrating Mass, and 26 worshippers were all killed in the raid. Nearby, in the Santa Susana convent, 13 nuns were killed by another bomb. Imagine the area around the Santa Maria Basilica, packed with people. The weekly market was being held in the arcade, and Mass was being celebrated in the church. The bombers scored a direct hit. The church and the arcade were completely destroyed. Shrapnel marks on the walls of the basilica still bear witness to that tragic morning. In all, 205 buildings on Carrebarria, Goencale, Artecale, and Barrancale streets also suffered serious damage, and a third of them had to be demolished. On March the 31st each year, a ceremony is held to commemorate the event in the arcade of the Santa Maria Basilica. Escurdi Square has always been one of the most important recreational venues in Durango, with its cafes, children's play park, ball court, and fountain. Durango was first bombed on September the 25th, 1936. Planes from Vitoria dropped 4 bombs, one of which fell on the Escurdi ball court. A group of refugees and militiamen were playing pelota at the time. 12 were killed. In revenge, 22 prisoners were taken out and executed without trial. The event is commemorated by a plaque on the arcade, and shrapnel marks can still be seen at the end of the left-hand wall. Militiamen wounded at the front were treated at the Echisarreta Palace, which formed part of a hospital complex, together with the Church of San Agustin and the poorhouse next door. Today it houses the local Museum of History and Art, with models and exhibitions of objects from the Civil War. Following the raid on the morning of March the 31st, a second attack was launched at 5:30 in the afternoon. At the time, most of the local population were involved in attempts to rescue victims of the morning attack. Looking from the bridge towards the historical centre of the town, you can see the road to the cemetery in the distance. In the afternoon raid, civilians were machine-gunned and incendiary bombs dropped. Empty spaces in front of the town hall and in the surrounding area mark the site of buildings damaged in the raid. Another consequence of the war was the creation of improvised prisons. The building, now known as the Navarre School, hosted the Workers' Battalion Prison in 1937, and in 1940 it became a women's prison. At the time, the building was known as Villa Maria, and the main door still stands. The prison remained in operation for a year. 2,000 women, classed as political and social prisoners, were incarcerated here. Water was scarce, and sanitary and hygienic conditions precarious, and the women were obliged to carry out forced labour. 5 women and 6 children died as a result of the conditions at the prison. Terror, grief, fear, and anxiety. These are the enduring remnants of the bombing. We must never forget or silence the past. We must remember and ensure that it never happens again.